We haven't even talked about this weekend.
I know what you're talking about. It is Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner.
And I don't feel like either one of us wants to claim according to the typical boxing rules.
We have not discussed this fight until just now.
Yes.
Despite the fact that I do champion Filipinos across the world and even non-Filipinos across the world who look Filipino. And you're, I guess, sort of the Adrian Broner in that equation? Is that the implication?
Is
that the problem, I guess?
I can't just claim my people on television and nobody get upset about it, so I don't have to do it.
Touché. Our first name today, though, is the AFC Championship because the Patriots edged the Chiefs 43-40 in Week 6 in Foxborough, but in KC, with the Chiefs having just destroyed the Colts. Would you be surprised if New England just won this game?
I would be surprised if they won the game. I would not be shocked if they won it, but I don't expect them to. I think that Kansas City is going to win this. I think it is worth noting that the last time they played it, it was in Foxborough, and it was a 3-point game, right? I feel good about what the Chiefs are able to do on offense. I feel good for them being at home. Like, it's a team that does not play particularly well on the road, and as much as we fear what Bill Belichick might cook up, he was trying to cook something up that last time, and all it cooked up was giving up 40.
Yeah, and I'd like to, help Julian Edelman's business of selling America $29.99 bet against us t-shirts by confidently saying, no, the Patriots have no chance against this offense. But I do worry. What does Bill Belichick have? You bring up what is lingering in my mind. When Peyton Manning, Bo, was setting records like 15, 16 years ago, he did the thing where they had all of the DBs on the Patriots rough up the receivers at the line. The rules were changed subsequently. It was so effective. Is there anything he can cook up to slow down that guy?
All right, well, the strategy they normally use is to double team a team's number one receiver and then put their number one corner on the number two guy. So what would you presume if they were going to do that here? You put Stephon Gilmore on Sammy Watkins and then you put two guys on Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, Tyreek, yeah.
What two dudes can you put on Tyreek Hill that are going to effectively solve the problem that you have, right? He's that fast. I don't know. I think they have a chance where they can win this game. But I don't think they're a good enough team to where I'm just going to ignore all the evidence surrounding it.
Yeah, I would say that the Chiefs win this game if they get out ahead early, if that offense is the offense we recall, because at that point, the Patriots sort of have to start throwing. And the big weakness of the Kansas City Chiefs defense is that they are last in DVOA in terms of run defense. And the Patriots established that they like to run, so that's where I give Belichick a shot.
Well, with the Patriots, that's the question. Would they come out here and turn back the clock, right, and just decide we're going to run the ball 45 times? Like, imagine that, how this whole tenor of this would change if opening kickoff, New England got it, and then just went on a 13-minute, we're going to run it down your throat kind of drive. I just don't see them doing that.
Yeah, the Chiefs would like for those big pass rushers, the Chris Jones, the Dee Ford, the Justin Houston. Those guys are all really good at pass rushing. The issue is, can Tom Brady get the ball out of his hand quick enough for them to be neutralized?
There we go. Next name is the NFC Championship. When they played in Week 9, the Saints beat the Rams 45-35 on a late Michael Thomas touchdown. Pablo, who you see winning this time around?
Much to your chagrin, much to the chagrin, I guess, of the city of Atlanta, I do think it's the Saints. I think the Saints are going to try and draw Jared Goff out of hiding, right? The Rams have been relying on the run game where they are best since, well, for the whole season really, but especially since December. And last week, of course, the Cowboys did the thing where they gave away how their front seven was going to defend. They ran for 273 yards, didn't have to rely on Goff. I feel like the Saints and a top 3 run defense, they're going to try and get Goff to beat them, which is not a winning formula for LA.
Well, I mean, there's an intermediate step there, though. Getting Goff to beat them means saying that you can stop Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson, right? That's what they're going to have to do because everything the Rams do is predicated off the run game.
Yes.
This hasn't been about making Jared Goff great. It's been about making Jared Goff better because he's playing off Todd Gurley, right? They're best when they're throwing the ball in play action. My man Florida James put that number on the card here, that the play action is the game for the Rams. So in Week 9, when they played that game, Goff was 10 of 12 for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns off play action passes. So as good as the Saints are at stopping the run, do I think they're going to be able to shut down Todd Gurley? Probably not. As a result, I will say that and cross my fingers for the sake of a major American city and say that I think the Rams are going to save us.
Because I do think if the Rams don't save us, we will have a situation that is akin to how Ray Lewis described the NFL lockout. We will have what you call crime.
Yes.
And that would be dangerous. But I do wonder, Bo, the LA Rams, they have been obscuring that Goff has been struggling. Since December, here are the numbers, right? Because if the play action is not working, this is what they're dealing with. 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 9 sacks, and 4 of those touchdowns came against the 49ers in one game. They have done a really good job of making people forget that he kind of is the weak link.
Yeah, he is. And also I think that we are going to take this almost to a bit of like a philosophical argument that came up earlier this year when we got bored in the middle of the season, which is Aaron Donald the MVP of the NFL?
Yeah,
right? Like
right.
That was a thing that we had talked about. And the counter argument against that always is that a quarterback affects the game more. Just how much are you affecting the game at defensive tackle, even if you are the best defensive tackle in the league? We need to see, if you're the Rams, how much Aaron Donald can affect the game, because if he is in Drew Brees' face, this throws everything else off about the Saints. And let us not forget, the last time they played, there was no Aqib Talib. He's there
That's
now,
right.
which means that Marcus Peters is less likely to get dusted by Michael Thomas, because Marcus Peters is less likely to be the guy who is then checking him. If they can get some heat, then they've got the chance at this. Because, look, there's a reason why the Saints went and got Dez Bryant, even though he doesn't play. They need that number 2 receiver. They don't have that guy.
Yes, it is a very Michael Thomas-centric offense, but the defense for the Saints, the city of Atlanta, is resting their hopes on a defense that, since week 10, to their credit, has been leading the NFL in sacks and in takeaways, both really impressive, but, like, they should be worried, right? Like, Atlanta...
There's a distinct possibility that the Saints are going to win this game, and then that means that the Saints will be in the Super Bowl, and then that means that New Orleans is going to be all around Atlanta. And please understand, they really, really care about this. They're going to be obnoxious. They're going to be jerks about it, and it's going to be bad in the macro level sense for everybody in America. Only people in New Orleans are going to be happy about this, and I'm not a person in New Orleans. I'm not happy about this. I want the airport to be safe.
Paper bags, right?
I want the mall to be safe. Do you realize what the mall going to be if New Orleans come and invade?
I was hoping we were going to hit the mall. That would be a problem then.
I feel like we shouldn't go to the mall.
We're not going to the mall.
Probably not.
Last name, Ja Morant. Last night, Bo Murray State's sophomore sensation dropped 27, blew out Eastern Illinois, but it was this play that left one Jay Billis whispering about the next Russell Westbrook. Let's watch the man.
Hey, shout out to number 40, who realized very early on that we don't need another hero.
When the guy you're trying to heroically defend is reaching all the way back and then forward, that's not a great sign for you, but word is that Morant is now a top 3 draft prospect. This is real, behind only Zion and RJ Barrett. Bo, are you buying this really impressive rise?
I don't care where he gets drafted. I don't care how good he actually is. That dude is so much fun to watch. Like, we could get into... Yeah, let's say, y'all out here talking about the draft. Bring him wherever. I don't care if he plays in the NBA at Rucker Park over on 4th Street. Look, I mean, this is bananas. How he wound up at Murray State is a great mystery.
No, it's insane because he played on the same AAU team as Zion Williamson. Imagine the lack of heroes trying to stop either of those players. But the flip side, of course, is that a bunch of people got a chance to see him.
Right.
And yet he goes to Murray State, and yet he is invisible until, like, today.
Look, there's one dude, he wrote something, I think his name is Jack Hoy, at the Stepien.com, or Stepien, I'm not sure how you say it, forgive me.
Stepien,
but he had something 7 months ago to say that this dude was going to be a high riser before he was in anybody's top 60 or anything else. And you look at that, and you're just like, yo, somebody had to see this. Somebody had to be aware. Oh, my, we saw that already, but he just jumped over a dude in the middle of the game. That is that number 0 right there.
Dude.
Another dude who was like, I see no reason to be a hero, and just getting out the way. Now, he'll probably go early in this draft, I would expect. RJ Barrett's so much bigger, so Barrett's probably going to go before that. But the thing with Barrett is, I'm just not sold yet.
Yeah, we're not sure. We're not sure if he's accurate enough, efficient enough. But this dude, despite using the ball, as you might imagine, at Murray State, as much as anybody in the country, is pretty efficient. He might be the first guy in college basketball history to average 20 and 10, and obviously small school guys, whether it's Paul George or Kawhi Leonard or Lillard or Steph Curry, they exist.
Yeah.
Is he the latest?
It's also worth noting, by the way, we didn't see no single jump shot in that montage, and I'm sure he's made one. You know what? I don't care if that dude never shoots a jump shot in his life.
I don't really care to see
if you ever win a game. Just dunk all the time.
Please.
Coming up next, will Kyrie Irving getting up on the Lakers? Ooh, maybe.
High Noon has a podcast. So does Bomani. So do I. Pablo leaves himself voice memos.
From the Seaport District at Pier 17,
Brought to you by Chase.
So y'all having to get together for that Pacquiao fight?
I honestly hadn't even considered it until you opened the show with
You forgot he's still in the league?
He's in the league, and he is the greatest Filipino athlete of all time.
Blame them all, Pablo.
I just can't get into it in the same way for reasons you may suspect out there.
Blame them all. Quote, Nick Foles, to me, is more of a Brady-esque type quarterback. Said Brett Favre on NFL Sirius XM Radio when making the case the Eagles should stick with Foles over Carson Wentz. Just listen.
No disrespect at all to Carson Wentz. I think he's already proven that he is a great quarterback. Totally different than Nick Foles. Nick Foles, to me, is more of a Brady-esque type quarterback. You know, very, very limited in what he can do, but very, very good in what he does. I mean, he's a pure pocket passer, and he's great at dishing it out, and he's proven that he's clutch.
Oh, Pablo, it's your reaction to Favre joining your bandwagon.
I am trying to be a responsible representative for Citizens for Foles. And, you know, I want a nuanced argument. I want to show that Nick Foles is really good under pressure and really good in the playoffs, but not exactly the guy in Carson Wentz who, led the league in total QBR in his second year. And in comes Brett Favre, bursting into the room, and now I have to defend this guy? No, Nick Foles is not Tom Brady. He's better than people think, but he's not Tom Brady. Brett Favre, stop making life hard for me.
Yeah, what you don't like about Brett Favre is he pointed out the absurdity of the stuff that you guys be over there talking about when it comes to Nick Foles, because he did not say that he was Tom Brady. He said he was Brady-esque. And what is fun, but what is interesting about this to me is normally former players tend to take the guy that kind of reminds me a bit of myself. Favre actually went with the opposite on this one. It makes me wonder how he actually views his own career, because he chose the guy that is so little like him. And Foles and Tom Brady, someone else who is also not like him.
But they are similar in that under pressure, Bo, they're at their best.
You ain't never seen Brett Favre throw an interception under pressure?
Next quote. Wow, I guess it makes it a bit easier for him to come to LA now. Read an anonymous text message that our office mate Stephen A. received about Kyrie Irving. Bo, after Kyrie apologized to LeBron on the phone, could you see them reuniting in LA this summer?
No chance. Zero chance that this is going to happen, because I feel like Kyrie made that call to LeBron to be like, hey, LeBron, now that I'm a leader, I understand how difficult it is to be a leader. Nothing about that indicates that Kyrie then wants to call LeBron and say, being a leader is so hard that I don't want to do it no more. I want to come play for you now.
It is really hard to dive into the mind of Kyrie Irving for all the reasons that we already know about his opinions and how he processes the world, literally and figuratively. But keep in mind the Celtics here are counting on Kyrie Irving to be more than just a leader and more than just an excellent point guard, which he is right now, as we see in this video. They're counting on him to recruit Anthony Davis. So if this were to happen, the small chance, but if Kyrie were to go to LA and bring Anthony Davis to the guy whose agent he shares in LeBron James, my God, Danny Ainge would be, put him on watch.
Yeah, no, there's no chance. I think LeBron would be like, sure, little fella, come on down. And Kyrie would be like, I'm tired of you calling me little fella. And that's the end of it.
But the good news for LeBron is that he has help already. Let's watch.
Oh, man, he's still in the league. His name is Michael Beasley.
And he's playing. Or trying to play.
Except somebody had to tell him.
Practice shorts.
Yes,
Michael.
Yes, he just completely forgot. And to be fair to Michael Beasley, nobody told him. Somebody had to see that while it was going on. Who was the person that was like, nah, he gonna have to do it for himself this time?
Yes, how does Michael Beasley not have a minder whose sole job it is to remind him, you wear purple and gold. Those are the colors. But dude, we have the tunnel cam on this.
But what I also love about this is he's not particularly mortified by the fact that this happened. This is just another day in the life of Michael Beasley. Everybody who's looking at this is just like, hey, Mike, go change the shorts, man.
I'm reminded of a quote from Emmanuel Sanders yesterday. Get off the gas, yo. Last quote is yours.
Quote, stupidest organization in the history of sports. Said Charles Barkley about the Sixers after they played Joel Embiid in spite of his sore back. Let's listen to Chuck.
Let me just say this about the Philadelphia 76ers. They've got to be the stupidest organization in the history of sports.
Why?
You got a franchise player who's got a bad back, who's injury prone. and you got him out, he can barely walk, and you got him out there playing in a regular season game. You have to be the stupidest organization.
They sat him out for a year.
Dude, he's hurt.
I've been saying,
He ain't hurt. No,
You walk on that court, you play. I don't want to hear that.
Shaq, who used to heel on company time. Pablo, Chuck being too hard on the Sixers.
Well, on the one hand, if you were to create a word cloud of all of the things Charles Barkley has ever said, the word stupid would be in like 1 million point font. He says that a lot. But he has a point because Joel Embiid wanted to play in this game. He said after the game, Bo, I'm a warrior, don't want to let my team down. The Pacers are a 3 right now in the East. The Pacers are a 4. I get it, but Brett Brown needs to weigh the costs and benefits. If you're foam rolling, don't play him.
Yeah, I would think that was not a time to play Joel Embiid. That you have to be the guy to tell him, no, you're not going to play, and maybe he'll get on Instagram and whine about it. He's not going to say, stop treating me like a baby or something like that. He's done that before, but nothing about that warm-up indicated that dude should have been playing. By the way, interesting factoid about that game. Simmons, Embiid, and Butler all had 8 assists.
Ooh.
Like all of them. So at least they want to share the ball with each other.
They're rolling, and up next, which Asian American do the Miami Dolphins maybe want to draft?
When you're celebrating something worth celebrating, you're inflatable.
Yes, he does. And is he going to be a difference maker?
Well, how about this? You think the NBA refs are excited about this?
Oh, man, by the way, they're doing a Twitter thing.
Yeah, are they going to welcome him back?
I hope so. Today's number, 13th. Which is what Mel Kiper says would be a great spot for Kyler Murray to be picked in the NFL draft. Would it be a good idea if the Dolphins took him at 13?
I don't know. We don't know. When's the draft going to be? End of April, early May? Somewhere in there?
Like that,
we ain't even had a combine yet, right? Like, this is the thing. These mock drafts, you put them out. This is a good thing to make people click on it. We talk about it right here.
This is
the nature of this industry. That being said, if Jim Caldwell is going to be the man that runs the offense in Miami, as we have heard, does Kyler Murray sound like a guy that fits the way that he wants to run an offense? Like, the thing is, if you are going to take Kyler Murray, you have to be fully invested that this type of quarterback is going to be one you use, and you have to tailor a system around what his particular talents are. I'll know what's a good idea when I know really what's going on.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell is most beloved for letting quarterbacks do what they do, and I don't think that's necessarily the best plan for this guy as a rookie. I will say it is kind of absurd that the thing that this is hinging on, is he a 13th pick, is he a 20, is he a 6, is a matter of millimeters in his height. Like, that's going to be part of the combine measurement process. But you know who might be interested, Bo, before you do the 5'10 thing?
Yep.
Brian Flores, because Brian Flores was previously told 2020 in the media would be the goal for that quarterback to arrive, and instead maybe he gets a shot sooner than that.
Yeah, it just all depends on if Brian Flores is invested in the idea that this 5'9" and change quarterback is his guy.
5'10", rounding up.
I bet you do. In closing, let's take a look at some Bay Area residents doing their part to fight crime and fighting crime themselves.
Stealing. Yo,
That's right.
Stealing. White
He's
boy
stealing. He's stealing. Clearing the pockets out.
You ain't going nowhere.
Of course he is.
Yo, ass,
oh my God. He really was stealing though.
Oh, no. Hands behind your back.
So sure.
Hands behind your back. Put them handcuffs on his ass. In our neighborhood, stealing because if it was us, we'd be going to jail. Where we get? Yeah, you better be. I don't with the police, but I want to let you see how we feel. How does it feel?
Wow, he's so short.
To leave the Fillmore in one piece.
Look how tight the camera is to him.
Yeah, so we left you alone. We don't with the police. We don't with the police, but I was going to give my citizens a mother.
Warriors cap.
You had balls to come here and steal all that.
Well, I was
you in Fillmore, man. Go to Safeway.
Yeah, he told him to go to another place because it's easier to steal down the road. Just imagine how he felt once he realized, oh, wait, they're actually going to put me up against this glass.
I did not think people actually did citizens arrests, just as a general principle. I didn't think that was a thing.
I didn't think people did citizens arrests, and even if they did, you didn't think it would be that citizen arresting that one, now did you?
Absolutely not. When I think of citizens arrest, I think of like a person impersonating like Cartman on South Park. No authority, no nothing, but that was an effective carriage of justice.
Should have put that man against the wall and been like, hey, man, you know what you're doing when you come to the neighborhood? That's right. You bringing the property value down. Because that's what he's doing out here, thieving. He's bringing the property value down. The neighborhood don't feel safe with this man out here stealing.
No. In fact, they should have gotten him to agree to go speak at schools afterwards and regret out loud all of his actions.
That's right. Scared straight like Charles Peach.
Shout out to Charles Peach. What's up?
He never been to jail. It's okay.
Right? No, Joe? Okay. In closing, I'd like to deepen our dive into Bay Area demographics, actually. Let's watch KPIX5 report the news.
New tonight, a Bay Area homeowner found unusual tenants for his studio apartment. A pair of cats. Yes, you did hear right. Night Beats Betty U has that story from San Jose.
This is the casita located behind a single-family home here in Willow Glen. Inside, two tiny tenants. Luis and Tina like to lounge around the cat tree. And according to landlord David Kalish, they mind themselves, don't complain, and the $1,500 a month rent comes on time. The space comes with a bathroom and shower and an Apple TV, but doesn't have a kitchen.
Why?
The cats may be getting a good deal. Rents in Willow Glen for a studio fall just under $2,000 a month.
Yo, I'm not saying that American inequality is out of control right now, but that pair of cats is paying $1,500 a month for an apartment with a TV in it.
All I'm saying is, two Americas here. There's the America where you got to stop the pioneers from coming in and stealing from your corner store. And then there's the America where instead you just buy a studio apartment for cats.
By the way, if you did have a studio apartment for cats, one thing I would not publicize in the news
is that...
Guess who's living here? It's just two cats.
It's not even that I wouldn't publicize it's just two cats. It's two cats with electronics.
Yes, an Apple TV.
Somebody might be jamming on that TV.
Back from the last video.
Highly questionable coming up next.